All right, today we are diving deep into the fire and passion of flamenco. But here's the thing, it's way more than just a dance. It's a language. And in the next few minutes, we're going to learn how to speak it.
I mean, you've probably seen it, right? That raw emotion, the incredible footwork, those powerful, intense expressions. Flamenco is one of those art forms that just grabs you and refuses to let go. But have you ever stopped to wonder what's really happening under the surface? What's the secret sauce that makes it so utterly captivating?
Well, the key is to stop thinking of it as just a performance. It's a language, a whole language of spirit, of sound, and of movement. And if we can learn just a few of the basic words, you'll start to appreciate it on a completely different level. So let's start where it all begins, with the soul of flamenco, its heart. This is all about the spirit and the traditions that have been shaping it for centuries. So check this out. Traditionally, flamenco wasn't passed down through books or sheet music. It was all done through a concept called de oído, which literally means by ear. For generations, artists learned by listening, by feeling, by repeating what they heard and saw. It's this incredibly intuitive, personal process that gives flamenco its raw, unwritten soul, even as more formal, modern methods have started to pop up.
So how does that spirit actually get expressed? Well, one of the most powerful moments you'll see is the desplante. It's this sudden, defiant, almost arrogant pose. It's so much more than just a stop in the dance. It's a full-on declaration. The dancer just pauses, and in that moment, they're looking right through the audience, or maybe even staring down fate itself.
And if you really want to understand the sheer intensity of that moment, get this. The term comes directly from bullfighting. The matador makes this exact same gesture right in the bull's face. Now that tells you everything you need to know about the courage, the pride, and the absolute defiance that's packed into that one single pose.
Okay, next up, let's talk about the sound, because the music of flamenco is every bit as complex and expressive as the dance, with its own unique set of rules and its own signature feel. Have you ever really listened and noticed how different flamenco music sounds? The guitar has this certain flavor, a quality that just sets it apart from most of the Western music we hear. It often gets described as sounding oriental or having Arabic influences, and you know what? That's no accident. It's built right into its musical DNA.
The secret is hiding in the scale, the specific relationship between the notes, a musical structure that goes way back to medieval and Arabic music, is exactly what creates that signature, evocative, almost haunting atmosphere. That's the secret ingredient. And building on that, you'll often hear notes in flamenco that might sound, well, a little off to an ear that's used to, say, classical music or pop. But here's the most important thing to remember. It's called dissonancia, or dissonance. And what might sound like a clashing, jarring note in another kind of music is completely intentional in flamenco. It's where the tension comes from, the grit, that raw emotion. That supposed mistake is actually the flavor. It's the whole point. The sound of flamenco is also constantly evolving, pulling from all over the world. A percussionist might use a North African darbouka for that sharp ringing sound, or maybe the deep, resonant boom of a djembe from Senegal. It's a perfect example of how flamenco has always been a cultural crossroads. Now let's talk rhythm. It can get incredibly complex for sure, but a huge amount of it boils down to this one simple time signature, 2-4. Just a simple 1-2-1-2 beat. And dos por cuatro, as it's called, is basically the engine for a massive variety of flamenco styles, or palos. It drives everything from the really festive tangos and rumbas to the more serious tientos and even the super dramatic farruca. This simple, steady pulse is the foundation for so much of the art form. So we've got the heart, we've got the sound. Now let's see how they come together in our third element, the movement, the dance itself. The Spanish word is simply danza, any movement with music. But what's really fascinating is where some of those movements came from. A lot of flamenco dances actually trace their rhythmic roots all the way back to a 19th century Cuban dance, the habanera. It's just another great reminder of how flamenco has absorbed influences from all over the world. And you guessed it, just like a language, dance has its own vocabulary. So let's look at 3 key terms. Dedeteo is that intricate, almost hypnotic rotation of the fingers. Deslizar is the smooth, gliding brush of the feet along the floor. And diagonal is the powerful, deliberate way a dancer cuts across the stage. Now, let's zoom in on the hands for a second, the dedos. Traditionally, there was a kind of rule. Female dancers would move their fingers separately and very fluidly, while male dancers were supposed to keep their fingers together for a stronger, more rigid line.
But, and this part is crucial, flamenco is a living art form. That rule is constantly being broken. Today, you'll very often see female dancers incorporating those powerful, masculine hand movements into their performances. It's a dynamic art form, not some dusty museum piece.
So let's bring it all home. We've looked at the heart, the sound, and the movement. You now have the basic tools you need to decode a flamenco performance. So, what are the big takeaways here? For the heart, remember the de oído tradition and that defiant desplante gesture. For the sound, remember the unique diatonica scale and that core 2/4 rhythm. And for the movement, remember that vocabulary of the hands, the feet, and the body. The next time you watch a flamenco performance, you won't just be a spectator anymore. You'll be a decoder. You'll understand that defiant gesture. You'll hear the raw intention in the dissonance, and you'll see the vocabulary in the dance. So the only question left is, what new layers of passion and meaning are you going to discover?